People said that I claimed to have invented a time machine, and then they accused me of lying. Just one more example of the dangers of misquoting, of taking out of context. I never said I'd invented a time machine. Obviously, I didn't invent a time machine. I found a time machine. This isn't it. This isn't it either. None of these are it. But it is sort of a combination of these things. I knew it wouldn't be worth trying to explain. I found a code in the world, and when I unscrambled it, voila, I had a time machine. And no, I'm not going to share the details. The point is, I found it, and I used it. Remember, this was 2021. We were restricted both by the legal empowered will of the state and by basic human decency. It's funny when those two things overlap. We were restricted from leaving our homes.
So apparently the tritone interval was once banned in the church because it referenced the devil. A time, the tritone was seen as being of the devil by Catholics and was banned. Wild to think that in the 9th century the tritone was banned.
Fortunately for me, lockdown was a purely spatial restriction. Nobody said anything about not traveling through time. So you can imagine my relief when I found the time machine. Now, I didn't know when I would be traveling to. I didn't really know how to work it all that well. So I didn't even know whether I was going forward or backward, to the future or the past. All I knew was that I'd be getting out of the house. Parenthetical. And that was enough. End parenthetical. Okay, so how was I supposed to know that 1347 was the year the bubonic plague broke out?
Oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, that village was no good. I just got out of there and went into the woods. There was a forest really close by, luckily. So I went into it. I got confused, just sort of, went this way and that way for a bit. And then after a bit, I realized that there was a river that ran through the forest. And for a second, I thought I should follow the river. That'll get me where I need to go. And then I thought, where? I don't know where I need to go. All I know is that a river is likely to lead to people, and I want to stay away from people. So I didn't follow the river. Where I came up to the river, there was a sort of a curve in it, and I just turned off before I came to that curve. And that's where I found the cabin. Okay, I should say I wasn't going to be recording anyone without their consent. That's why I didn't get any footage of the village, any footage of the sick people. Because really, even if I did get their consent, how informed could the consent of a 14th century citizen really actually be? How much how much is some medieval person really going to understand the phrase all media in perpetuity throughout the universe? So I opted not to record any people, visually or sonically. I don't know, maybe I'm just old fashioned, but I want to tell you about the cabin and who was in it and what she had to say to me. I'm just not going to show her to you or let you hear her voice. And I'm not going to show you her cabin either, because, for some people, their dwelling is an extension of who they are. And I didn't feel I had the right to capture that either. But it was right around here. I can't sing. So she sang, and I listened. People ask what her music sounded like. And I understand the question, but. Okay. Take a point in human history, any point, and from any point in history, we are all together going forward into the unknown. And history has its little confusions, its little snarls, but generally it is going forward. We are all going forward together. But sort of underneath this, there's like this tributary, this current that is like the unconscious, or all the ideas, the understandings in human history yet to be discovered. A river of potential. And every once in a while, and this is normal, every once in a while, history will meet up with the tributary. At some point, our actions meet up with the current of potential, and we follow that new path. And that's what's called progress. But that's not always what happens. Because every once in a while, somebody makes their own turn, takes an exit ramp that's separate to the main current, and in making that turn, they make a discovery. And then that is the path that our shared history follows. But what if, every once in a rare while, there's someone who finds that exit ramp and takes it and makes a discovery that points to a new path, but for one reason or another, no one hears about it, it never gets shared with the rest of us. And so we just follow the river. And we never get to hear what her music sounded like, and we never know what was up here in this part of the woods.